I'm here today with Kirsten Zalba and her beautiful daughter Anais. Kirsten is a business and personal transformation coach, and she's also a stage 4 breast cancer thriver.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Awesome.
Great. I'm really excited to have them here today and hear their stories and how they connect with each other and how they support each other as women and mom and daughter. This is going to be a fun talk. I'm excited to have them here today. The reason why I asked is what is femininity to women and how do you express your femininity, and do you?
I think I do. I think it's about being authentic. Sort of like what you see is what you get. I think you can be feminine whether you're all dolled up or whether you're dressed down. To me, it's more about the power that I hold inside. In my younger years, I think femininity would have meant something different to me. It would have been something I could have used to manipulate men and get my way, to open doors for myself, and I've used it that way. Today, I think it means something very different.
I'm not really quite sure what the word means by itself, but when I think about it, I think about the power of women and just the advantages we have to step out and speak out, because people don't see us that way, but then once we do it, it causes attention.
Yeah.
It's such a struggle to raise young women in this day and age, and we happen to live in an area that is very affluent, and so what happens when girls turn 16, they get breast jobs, they will get nose jobs, they get fully decked out Range Rovers as 16 birthday present. And to keep it real in that kind of environment is really challenging. From the time that Anais was little, I made a decision that I will always talk kindly about my body. I will run around naked around her all the time. And I got a lot of attention when I was younger. I had long blonde hair, I had a really beautiful body, but I was very self-critical. I never saw myself the way other people saw me, and I had a lot of insecurities. And I decided that I did not want to continue that pattern with Anais. So there were no fashion magazines in our house. There was no exposure to that. And still, it's like you can't shelter your kids, right? They're going to be exposed to things. And I remember when Anais was 6 or 5 years old, I picked her up from camp. She was in a day camp, and we were in the car, and I said, Anais, how was your day? And she's like, oh, it was fun, Mom. And then my son was in the car too, and we talked about, what do you want to be when you grow up? And so Cameron talked about what he wanted to be, and then Anais's turn came, and she said, well, when I grow up, now remember, she was 5 or 6, I just want to be sexy. And I started freaking out. I'm like, what did she just say, right?
I said that?
Yes. And then I thought, wait a second, let me find out what that means, right? She has a very different take on this from her age percent than I do. And I said, Anais, what do you think that means? And she's like, Mom, when you're just so attractive and everybody pays attention to you, and she's going on and on. And I said, that's great, girlfriend, but that won't pay the bills, But it was just so funny. And I said, where did you come up with that? And then it turned out they were a bunch of teenagers who were camp counselors, and they were talking about being sexy and how to attract boys and that kind of stuff. So they can get exposed to this anywhere, right? And as a parent, how do I talk to her about it? What does that mean?
I remember a lot of those things. Until she told me that whole magazine thing, I never really realized that was never in my house. It never occurred to me that was happening. And when she was always running around naked, we hang out together in the bathroom when we're getting ready in the morning. It never occurred to me that normal mothers and daughters don't do those things. Not normal, but mothers and daughters don't do that. For example, yesterday we were with my friend and we were hugging and we were like, I love you too. And our friend looked at us. She's like, it's so nice to see you guys hug and say that. My mom and I never hug. We never say I love you.
No, it felt really sad.
And the more I recognize it, all my friends are like that. Nobody takes the time with their family. Nobody says I love you. When we say goodnight at night, we always say goodnight, I love you, to my brother, to my dad, everyone. And people are like, that's so cute, you guys do that. I've never seen it. I'm like, why don't you feel the need to tell your family you love them? it's just like those things that I'm so thankful for that I never really realized that she did for me, that I feel so like I take things for granted and don't realize because everyone around me does that. So I'm like, oh, this is normal. And when I go to other parts of the city and I'm like, oh, this must be a poor neighborhood, but it's a regular neighborhood. So I never really realized that the environment I was growing up in was so nurtured to the point where like it's not a real life. Not many women who like have cancer will let their daughters like shave their head into a mohawk and then like make fun of their own bald head. You know what I mean? Like that's like
Anais is the one that shaved my head when I went for chemo.
That's fun, and like you don't get that type of fun when all you're doing is like worrying about, oh, do I look good? All the girls in my grade, they all have nose jobs, like what she said, and it's just like it's a struggle to be around, especially when everyone has it, you begin to want it, but like when you can't get it, then that's like it's upsetting. But I feel like those are struggles I wouldn't even have to go through if I wasn't like in this place where things were so decided for you already.
The messages are out there from such an early age on that it's important to be attractive as a girl. It's important to be sexy, you know, and it's like, I don't know, it's just really hard as a mother because I feel like the girls are just put in a box.
What I would want for Anais is to be able to see herself the way I see her, and she has this unbelievable strength in her. She is such a sassy little powerhouse, and you forget that at times. You know, what I want for you is to really go for things that make you happy without regard to what other people think of you, and to follow your passion, to explore things without being worried about making a mess, making mistakes, having it a failure. You know, we had this whole texting conversation this week and she was really mad at me because I said, failures are good. If you're not failing, you're not going for it. And she's like, I want to do it right. I'm like, screw doing it right. You know, give it your best, but go for it. And don't compare yourself to others. You know, I think if you can compare yourself to yourself and continuously look at, am I the best version of myself? Am I who I want to be? What's my next cutting edge? How can I challenge myself? As opposed to how can I blend in? How can I be like so-and-so? You know, look at what they have that inspires you, but then make it yourself and go for it. So you don't have to be a copy.
It's important to learn to become your own trusted advisor. It's okay to keep going for what you want. Don't stop, don't settle, don't compromise. Go for what you want, and you know, we all know when it feels right in our gut. If you're not sure, go for support. Surround yourself with a support team.
My mom is like my biggest support, and she's by my side 24/7, and she's always there for me, and she always has advice, and she always knows what to say, but at the same time, every day she tells me how independent I am and how much of an independent person I am for such a young age for someone who can do so much for themselves. And I think the important message is that everyone wants to grow up to be independent and to be able to show people that they can do things on their own, but being independent is being able to thrive, but you can do that with support.
Go for it.
I love you.
I love you too. Look at you and say, you're fat.
You're bald.
Business and
Personal transformation coach.
Go there. You go.
I am not. I'm just gonna
I'm gonna jump over you. Goodbye.